Guys, what is going on? Those last videos were like old videos. Today is Friday, September, I don't even know, like what, 9th? 9th? Something like that? I should know because I had to put it on a test that I took today at school. Oh, September 7th. September 9th is the day that I'm going to trade for some welds. You guys should be happy. I'm excited. I'm trading, well, we gotta clean these up and put the stocks back on so we can drive down there on those. But I'm trading some guy my stocks right there with, I mean, the tires aren't bad by any means. I don't know, and through the camera they look pretty bad, but they've got quite a bit of life left on them. I got those for free, and I got the wheels for 200 bucks. So I've got 200 bucks in this setup, and I'm about to go trade them for some 20 by 10 OG Cheyennes, 8 by 6.5, and I am pumped. I've only seen a few sets out there. You don't see them every day, and I think it's going to look so good. We're going to have a lot of different stuff coming for the truck. Like, we might drop it down a little bit, like take the leveling kit out in the front and then reverse level it. Might help the ride a little bit too, get different shocks while we're at it. Sell the mud tires that are on these because they're like brand new, but they're those RBP or Compassers or something. They're that tread pattern, and I really don't like those tires. So we're probably going to sell those, and they're literally maybe have a couple hundred miles on them. So we're going to sell those, and we're going to get probably some kind of street meets, maybe some 420s or something along the lines of that. They're cheap. They would look good. And we're finally on a 20. So, oh, and big surprise for you guys coming the 15th. We might be adding another truck to the channel, not from somebody else, like for me. I'm looking at a 2008 6.7 3rd gen. So I'd be getting it for pretty cheap. It has an injector problem. So we'd be fixing injectors and then going around fixing the truck to flip it. It's going to be really hard to get rid of it because I know I'll want it. It has some Go Fast parts on it that we're going to put on Nathan's truck and swap out so it has all the stock stuff on it at the end. It's a lot easier to sell something like that so they don't think it's been messed with. At least in my personal experiences, maybe different for some of you guys. But we have some different stuff. My truck is filthy right now. I got tuxes and all sorts of stuff for tomorrow. I'm in my best friend from high school's wedding, so I'm getting ready for that. We do have our no hood stack, as you guys can tell. Compounds are out. We got fresh exhaust. This H1C is about to melt down, I swear. It's not leaking. We don't have any more belt noises. We still got a leaky looking injector, which I don't know what that's all about. We got a full 4-inch, you know it, Flow Pro exhaust. I wanted the nice stuff. I didn't want the janky stuff. I don't like here's my philosophy on exhaust. I'm picky about how it goes on, and I don't like those connectors that are shaped like a U and they have a bar on the bottom and it just bolts up and sucks it down. I like the actual connectors. So like these, it's hard to see. There's bolts on the other side. It actually, like, I don't know, they're a lot nicer. They work better. They don't mess up the pipe. And our tip is rather large. It's really dirty. I'm going to clean the truck, but we do have an axle dump. You can call it that. Normal exhaust goes through this between the leaf to the left and the spring, and I routed it over the pumpkin because this tip is 36 inches long, which is, I'll be honest, it is way bigger than I thought it was going to be. So the dimensions on it are 4 by 8 by 36, and I have had a lot of people like the tip, surprisingly. Like, I don't know, I think it kind of, every now and then I look at it, I'm like, man, that's goofy. But it's not terrible. I mean, it's big. So we're going to go ahead and get the jack and get our floor mats off of here because I detailed a BMW the other day. and we're gonna get our jack under here, and now we got to pull these off and put the old pawpaw stocks back on, and then roll to Stockton for a wedding rehearsal. Stay the night there, have the wedding Saturday, get up Sunday, be in Springfield by 10 o'clock to trade off for some welds. So, alright, what is up guys? We are back. We did get the stocks put back on. I was going to wash all of it. I needed to wash my old, from the old setup I've got here. I mean, obviously they're dirty, but we came out here to hook up the power washer, and it's broke. The hose is broke. So we are probably gonna run to the car wash, but I gotta change. It is 4:08, and I've got to be rolling out of town at 4:30. So I'm gonna change real quick. I mean, it is raining, but I mean, this is just dirty. Like, that's bad. So we're gonna get that all washed off, car wash, and we're gonna head on out. Well, boys and girls, this is the new look. We just got back from Billings, and we got the wheels. I do like them. They're not exactly what I thought they were, and that is completely my fault for not realizing it whenever I was trading the guy. Do I still think I got a good deal? Yeah, but I really wished I would have realized what was going on whenever I had traded them. They are a set of 20 by 10 Cheyennes, but they are not a polished wheel. They are a forged chrome wheel, which that's fine, but and they look good from a couple feet away, but I mean, they're chrome, and they're pitted bad. Even if they were chrome and they weren't pitted, I'd probably still strip them, but the plan is to have these chemically stripped, and we're going to polish them out to make them look like new. But we're going to have the whole wheel stripped and do the back side on the barrel and whatnot. But they set pretty good for 10s, and I did leave the spacers on just because, I guess. But I am liking it. We drove the truck like all over the place this weekend. I mean, I don't know how many hours we drove, but I would say, a couple hour trip, and it did good. I was double checking everything under here. We did get some of our stickers finally put on. Pure Diesel Power, Enterprise Engine Performance, ARP, Flow Pro. I got tons more, but I just haven't had time to put them on. We do not have this side put on yet, so I figured I'd stop and talk to you guys a little bit. I'll just show you what we're working with. The tires, if you guys are near me, the tires are going to be for sale. I'm going to put some different tires on them. And not that, I mean, these tires are great, obviously. I mean, you guys can tell they're literally like brand new. He said they've barely been drove on. Well guys, things were going pretty smooth, and then I went to go take this front driver's side wheel off, and I had it jacked up in the air, and like as I always do whenever I rotate tires, or anytime the front end of the truck's up in the air, it's just like force of habit to check for like wheel bearing movement, just to see if there's any play, to see if I need to be ready to replace anything. And I had a significant amount of play in this front wheel bearing. It's hard to tell. It's hard to tell with without the wheel on, but whenever the wheel was on, I mean, it was a very unsafe amount of play. So as you can see, I've already got the cap off and took the screws out with the Allen. It's like mine says 9/64 size Allen wrench. There's probably more standard size than that. I just have a bunch of Allen wrenches, and whatever works. But we're gonna get this all out and check out the wheel bearing, because obviously something is wrong here. I checked the axle shaft U-joints, and those, as far as I could tell, there was not any movement. All the movement was right here, which the wheel bearing sits right back in there. So we're gonna see, that might be why my brakes have been a little funky lately. I've been noticing every now and then they'll just go really far, and that might be because the rotor has shifted around and it's having to push the pad further out to touch the rotor. So we're going to keep taking this apart. We'll keep you guys tagged along to show you how, because maybe some of you guys have never done a wheel bearing, so this might be a how-to on a wheel bearing. So we're going to start taking the rest of this off, and I'll let you guys watch. Alright guys, I'm not sure, hopefully you guys can see. I've done this before, but I don't know. I did it whenever I first got the truck. I went through the whole front end and checked everything, and the bearings were good whenever I first got it, so I just repacked them. I can't remember what all tools are required. I know there's a special socket that's real big, which I already have, that you need for it, for this axle nut. But what I just took out is a little screw, little Phillips, that holds in all this, pretty much everything in here. I don't know if there's a special way to go about this, but I just start pulling everything out. Sometimes it all comes out in one piece and sometimes it doesn't, so you'll just have to see how your luck works. So first, got kind of a gear or something. Then the spring follows, and all this stuff is pretty rusty looking. It seems like some water maybe got in here. I don't know, but so that comes out first. This should just pull out. Well, I say should just pull out. It's not that simple, I'll tell you that, because I'm pretty sure I fought with this for a long time. Oh, I forgot that there is a little snap ring in the inside of here, and it is a pain to get off, or get out, I should say. If you can get it outside the hub here, it's doable. And you can hear this thing squeaking around and crap. Oh, there we go. You gotta kind of get behind it a little bit. And it just goes all the way around for the most part, except for the last little bit, obviously. Most of you guys have messed with a snap ring of some sort. These do not have the ends on them for the pliers, because I do have a set of snap ring pliers. But do not need it for those. So here's the snap ring. Now we should be able to pull all this out. Like I said, should. This stuff sometimes is not very easy to get out, and you just kind of gotta wiggle it. As you can tell, my favorite tool is probably a flathead, because I don't know, it just seems to work pretty good for the job. Alright, you guys can see that moving, making its way out. I do plan on putting a full new locker assembly in these, because sometimes one of them vibrates and it drives me crazy. So we will be doing an upgrade there eventually. Alright, so I'm going to put all this back the way it came out, because I tend to forget on this kind of stuff because there's so many components. Alright, now we have got that big old axle nut in there. I'm going to pick you guys up real quick. Maybe you can see that there's a axle nut in there, and we're going to go get, or try and find our socket for that. So I'm going to shut this off real quick and go look for it. Should be in my toolbox but I will be right back. Alright guys, I'm back. Here is our spindle nut socket. It is 2.5. It's just something I got from O'Reilly's that I know fits the grooves in here. You kind of gotta wiggle it around and get it in the right spot, but once you do, it sets in there pretty nice. So I'm gonna set you guys back down here. Hopefully you guys can see right there. So I'm gonna try and get this upright, and then once I get this off, I'll still have to take the brake caliper off, which I literally hate. If you're a first gen guy, you know why. They are just a pain in the butt. It's pretty ridiculous how all the engineering they used back then. Alright, so we are on. Now we gotta try and get this thing to break loose, which I think we just got it. It can be kind of tight. I didn't need a breaker bar. I don't think it's supposed to be as tight enough that you'd be using a breaker bar. So just use your common sense on that one. There is the spindle, let's see, bolt, or what? No, not the spindle nut. So there's that. That should be about all the stuff that we need to come out before it can. There's obviously a few more things in there, but I don't think those have to come out just yet. So let's see. We're gonna take off our brake caliper next. Alright guys, I kind of forgot to turn you back on, but I took out the little bolt that's right here over on the side of the caliper. You take that out, and then I had a big flathead. I honestly just take a big flathead and a hammer and just kind of punch this little piece out. It's a real pain in the butt. I don't like how this is set up. It has this pin, and it just kind of sets in there like that with the bolt. It kind of just like holds it down instead of just using normal bolts to hold the caliper. But there's that stuff. I'm probably... Alright guys, getting this thing off can be a booger, but that's just kind of how it goes. I pretty much just take it out from the top first and try and pry it back, and then slide it up. So, as you can kind of tell, we slid it back pretty far. Now, it just comes up and off like so. I'm just going to set it on top somewhere over here. Definitely don't want to have to take this off because I don't want to have to bleed the system. Brake pads are wearing kind of funky because of this, so we're going to have to get it figured out. Yeah, there's still a few more. I guess these pieces do have to come out before we can pull it out, or pull the whole thing off. And just like before, I just keep using a flathead and kind of go back and forth and try and get these things to come out. So there's one. Honestly, I could not tell you exactly what this stuff does or what its purpose is, but I'm going to try and stack it how I took it out so I don't forget. If anything, I can just watch what I did. And there is a second, spindle nut? Let's see if there is. If there is, that would make a lot of sense. Yep, I do think that there is. So, get your socket on there. Take that off. Well, not yet. Pretty close. Okay, so here's a second little nut, and we'll put that in there. That should be all she wrote, as far as I know. Alright, you cannot fall. Looks pretty good there. I'm gonna... I really can't remember what else is in here. It looks like the bearing. I can't tell because I can't remember. So there's the bearing. So whatever was going on was definitely internal in here. It could be the inner bearing in there, but this one also, I feel like there's a fair amount of play in this bearing here. Man, sucker's slick. We're gonna set that right there and get the, let's see if you guys can see me here. We got the rotor here, and there should be a bearing here on the inside. There is also a seal that I... Alright guys, try to not mind the Kojo in the background, but we got the seal out from the back side, and it is a pain. Just from my experience just now, what I would do is, if you don't have a puller, a seal puller, as I was told that I apparently needed, you just get the claw end of a hammer, and all I did, just get the claw end of the hammer and make it to where, with the flathead, kind of make a little spot to where you can get it in there, and literally just put your foot against the bottom of the rotor and pry back, and it popped right out. I gotta go get a paper towel or something for my twisted X's, but let's pull this out while I still got you on here. There's a significant amount of play in both bearings. I'm gonna look at the race. I'm gonna get new races and everything, but this thing's pretty well toasted. I don't know, I just got word from Guthrie. They left Lifted Truck Nationals just now, and he said his 4L60 just took a dump. Was going up the hill leaving the show, and now he doesn't have second or overdrive, so it's gonna be a long ride home. Alright guys, we got all of our new parts here we had to go to O'Reilly's, and we finally got the inner race out. All you gotta do is use a punch, and probably a brass punch would work better, but you really have to hit the crap out of it for it to come out. So we got all new races and bearings for this thing. I'm cleaning it out right now because it's got a lot of different kind of grease in it, and I'm gonna get good grease in there and kind of clean it all up with brake clean. As you guys can tell, it's a very dirty job for sure with all the grease, but I'm gonna set you guys up and we're gonna reassemble this thing. Alright guys, we got the inner race bearing and seal in. Pretty much, I don't know, just grease the bearing good, and whenever you go to put it back in, either use like a block of wood or something to make sure it all sits down flush. This one's in good, but we're gonna do the front side and the front bearing and race. So we'll do that real quick. Well, we got the wheel bearings all fixed up. This cap does fit over the hub, so whenever I get my other one, I'm going to put those over. I'm not really worried about using the lockouts, but I like the look. Looks pretty good. Like I said, these are for sale. If somebody wants them or to trade. But that's it. We got to go back to pit tonight. Alright guys, we are going to close this one out. It is Monday. I'm back at school. We did make it back last night. We just got out of our last class, electrical, which absolutely blows. That's why I own one of these things. Here's a video in the daylight. Shut the door. And those tires are like new. I mean, they ride fine. I mean, they're smooth. Just going a different route. I don't know what tires I'm going to go with just yet. I would like to get a set of more just street tires, like a Nitto 420 or a Toyo, just because I've seen these perform on the track, and I want something that's going to hook. So, like it or not, that's probably what I'm going to go with. So I am trying to sell these, but we're going to get on out of here. I don't know if I'll have a video for you soon. We do have big things coming this weekend, so you might have to just stick around till then. Otherwise, we'll see you guys on the weekend, and you guys have a good one. Be safe. We'll see you.